Hello everyone. I am Ayush. I'm a graduate research assistant, and I've been working on the ClimatePub4KG graph. I'll give you a project overview about how this project has been made, what are the motivations behind it, what are the applications of this project. I'm from Temple University, from the Proto-OKN project. Let's get started. So our project, it's mostly about constructing a climate knowledge graph, which is accessible for all. But this knowledge graph, it's primarily based on earth science, climate models. Um, and so why did we start it? What was the challenge or the motivation behind it? So climate science literature, it's really vast, complex, and growing rapidly. So there are a very diverse amount of papers, and today's large language models, today's AI, data, and resources, they are largely focused on materials from mathematics, computer science, physics. But the climate science literature is it's really underrepresented in current large language models. We can also see that in embedding models, and that's also an experiment that we're working on. Traditional keyword search, it lacks contextual nuance for comparing studies, and there are a lot of challenges, especially in the climate models. So there needs to be better tools to link models, regions, and impacts after conversations with climate experts, actually. So we kind of found out that there are not enough tools. There are a lot of manual work involved in finding the genealogy, tracing the genealogy of the models, especially where they impact, what are the regions they impact. So this was a big challenge, specifically faced by climate researchers. So why the traditional research falls short? One, specifically because people have not had a look at it, so it's really underrepresented. It's also a difficult task to trace connections between models, data sets, regions, and people with a really good scientific understanding should do that. We must have a climate expert to kind of go over all of these understandings. And a lot of the climate graphs that we have kind of seen, it's unable to support complex multi-hop scientific queries, and especially regarding climate models. This was the motivation behind it. Where do we come in? Our project, ClimatePub4KG, it's a domain-specific knowledge graph, and the domain is specifically on climate publications, climate models, their components, the variables and experiments they perform, they're used to perform, geographical locations and regions they affect, teleconnection patterns and phenomena, where these climate models kind of what they capture. And what are the key benefits of this project? It enables structured semantic queries beyond keyword search. So what we have kind of seen before is that when you search for a particular keyword or search for climate model terms, you get largely diverse topics and not necessarily topics that you are looking for. So we enable structured as well as semantic queries, basically natural language queries, and even structured queries through structured query language. So we enable that. We enable multi-hop reasoning across scientific entities. Uh, we are also working to integrate RAG systems to improve LLM reliability, and basically a portal through which you can kind of find what you're looking for in terms of climate models, and specifically about climate models and their components. So, what we are doing, or what we've partly done so far, is we have a integration with RAG systems. So we have a retrieval augmented generation pipeline. We heavily rely on LLMs, but the thing is, a lot of the things LLMs have said are sometimes hallucinated. A RAG architecture usually grounds the LLM to kind of produce answers from a knowledge base, which is proven, which is known to be true. So ClimatePub4KG, it serves as a powerful retrieval backend for RAG systems, and it enhances LLM reliability for climate science queries. What are the key benefits of KG Enhanced RAG? So grounds LLMs and verified climate science knowledge. It enables multi-hop reasoning, and this will be this is more accurate, right? It provides structured and verifiable evidence for generated response, and obviously the reduction of hallucination. It's an important point because LLMs they might say stuff which is not exactly true, and for this it's very important that they stay within the knowledge graph to kind of provide the answers that they are providing. So what are the data sources that we use? So ESGF, it's Earth Science Grid Federation, is a large collection of data sets which are um, data sets about climate models, the data that they produce when they are simulated over a certain period of time. They have a large amount of metadata information, and those metadata information they are used to construct or seed our knowledge graph. So our ontology is manually created with the help of a climate expert, and we just fit the metadata information that we have from ESGF to our knowledge graph. So we also use CMIP6 data. So ESGF is a lot, it is a plethora of information, but the thing is, um, we also want to trace the genealogy of models. And for this, the climate model component data is not present in ESGF. So what we do is for each ESGF model that we have, we look into CMIP6 data, and there we have the information about climate model components. So we also add climate model components data into our knowledge graph. What about geonames? So GeoNames is a geographical database that covers all countries and contains over 11 million place names. So specifically ESGF, it has data about which regions it connects through bounding box information, like basically degrees of where that area covers. And it also has a domain specific information for Cordex data. So it has specifically North America, this region. But what we don't have is specific places, say Toronto, specific Florida, Atlantic Ocean. So we don't have specific geographical entities uh, about where these climate models are getting their predictions for. So GeoNames, what we do is we collect all the place names from geographical databases, cities, countries, water bodies, no country regions, continents. So all of this data, what we do is uh, calculating from the bounding box and the domain provided by ESGF. We connect climate models, regional climate models specifically, to the specific regions that they provide predictions for. And through this, we actually uh, ground them to kind of specific regions and not to geographical boundaries as such, making it more usable. So our knowledge graph is a total of around 55,000 nodes, and it's only increasing because we are also adding more and more scientific publications there. It has around 496,000 relations, and all of these are of 60 relation types. So the knowledge graph, it can be found on the link present here, and also the complete ontology can also be found in the link presented. So what are the key use cases of our knowledge graph? So we have outlined three use cases. So for a researcher, one of the kind of primary thing you do is you look for papers relating to something, right? And for that, we have which we have a pipeline to add climate scientific publications in our knowledge graph. And so through this, what we can do is we can direct them to particular papers which mention some of the topics that are present in our ontology. So, for example, which papers mention anomalous temperature regimes in North America, we kind of parse the entities. We kind of looking at that, we kind of see our knowledge graph and then find which entities they are present on. So, what about a model developer? So, person tracing model genealogy, they can just see which components, shared models, and realm for access models. So, a lot of the models also share a particular component. So, say some access models, access CM2 and access CSM 1.5, it shares access OM2, which is the uh, oceanic component. So and this is something that you can visualize pretty clearly in our knowledge graph, and it helps someone developing a model to trace the genealogy of climate models. And what about an environmentalist? You can just talk about which papers mentioned Pacific North American pattern in connection to the location. So it's about finding teleconnection patterns. So we also include GCMD plus concepts. So that's why this query will be possible. Uh, so this is a snapshot of our knowledge graph for the particular query zone. So the query is show regional climate models that predict precipitation over Florida. So in the light brown nodes, you can see that those are the regional climate models. The global climate models which drive the regional climate models are present in red. The pink one is the variable it produces, which is precipitation, and it's in the standard CF standard names. Um, Florida, which is in green, is the kind of country subdivision, which is a state. So it's in the node type country subdivision. So it's a very clear visualization about what is present or how the models they are interconnected. So what are the application areas? So there are a lot of application areas, so we can uh, basically effectively study models, regions, variables. We can find knowledge graphs and inconsistencies in literature by seeing where they're connected, by seeing the benchmarks, how those climate models are performing under certain instances. So all of this can be seen through our knowledge graph. So we can also trace scientific provenance from models to policy recommendations. We can conduct scenario planning. We can evaluate model dependencies to ensure ensemble diversity. So there are a lot of application areas for our knowledge graph. And the future work is we're mostly looking to improve our natural language interface and add more and more papers so that we have stronger relations which are which we capture from multiple papers, which is a stronger proof that that relation is not hallucinated and it's actually a relation that's present in our knowledge graph or in real life so that it can be validated. So those are the things that we are doing. We are also developing a user-friendly search platform, our query translation, and we are trying to add more structured data as well, along with the unstructured data that we get from papers. We are also trying to make it a real-time thing. So we're trying to take real-time data from ESGF and uh, so in conclusion, we created a domain-specific knowledge graph that captures complex relationships in climate science. We enabled structured semantic queries that support scientific discovery beyond keyword search. And we also demonstrated an integration with RAG systems to improve LLM reliability for climate science. So this is it. Thank you. If you want to reach out, you can email me at ayush.acharya@temple.edu, and we can talk more about this project. Thank you so much.